So in this example, we have two factors, two polynomials being multiplied together. The first one only has one term, and the second factor has three terms. So I'm going to go ahead and build my little generic rectangle. Again, in this, if you're comfortable with the distributive property, this is probably a little bit of overkill. But I like to be consistent with my methods, at least when I'm teaching them, and you can decide what shortcuts are appropriate. Now you'll notice that I made my height one term high, and I made my base three terms wide. Perfect. Now I have this giant rectangle, or really three smaller rectangles. And again, I'm going to use the fact that now that I've made it into a rectangle, I know that the area of any rectangle is just equal to the base, which is my second factor here, times the height, which is my first factor. Meaning that the area is in fact going to be what the product of those two factors is. So when we multiply this out, as I've mentioned in previous videos, we have these two terms times each other. I'm going to multiply the 6 times the 8 to start. That's 48. This first term doesn't have an x, and the second one does, so that's really just like a 1 times x. And then I have y to the 4th times y, which is just 5 y's being multiplied together. And we do the same thing for the second one. So I'm going to multiply the 6y squared times the 7x squared. So 6 times 7 is 42. There is no base of x in the first term here, so I'm just going to multiply 1 times x squared. And then y to the 4th times, well, really that's like a 1 right there as well. So we get y to the 4th. The last term is the same basic way. I'm going to multiply the 6y to the 4th times the negative 3y to the negative 2. I now know that 6y to the 4th, my first factor here, times the second factor is just equal to the area, or all three of these little rectangles combined together. And then, of course, the very last thing I should do is check for any like terms. And in this case, I have three different bases, so I can't do anything else. So I just box this and know that this is now simplified.